Hi, we're here at Hollerhorn Distilling in beautiful Naples, New York, on the south end of Canandaigua Lake and the Finger Lakes. And this is a distillery that is really European. They're so European that they're making single malt whiskeys, think of Scotch, fruited brandies, think of German and Austrian schnapps. But they're such a New York distillery that they're making distilled spirits from maple syrup, which is about as New York as you can get and is our favorite sugar product.
You know, from day one, my hope was to do something different. We started with maple distillates, so playing around with not only maple sap, but maple syrup. So it's maple syrup, yeast, and water. There's nothing unnatural or even non-organic. It's literally coming out of a tree. A lot of local farms and producers, it gives them an outlet, especially for their bulk syrup, because we're bringing in 40-gallon stainless drums at a time, multiples. You know, we're a big maple producing state. To be Austrian, I think everything is done with a lot of care, with a lot of thought, with an exactness, and also super hard work ethic. Austria is a small country. Everything there is precious. So in planning the business, we wanted a place that we could source 100% of all of our raw materials from. So this area is super rich in fruit producers, grain growers, maple producers, obviously. Everything we need is right here within literally 5 miles of our distillery. And I think it's still, in my opinion, the best way to do it, you know.
Thanks to that access to local raw materials, Hollerhorn expanded to include other spirits like brandy, schnapps, whiskey, and even gin.
I started following fruit harvests, which is kind of what I was doing prior to opening. So strawberries in June, make a blueberry brandy, cherry, or traditional Kirsch brandy. I try to do everything kind of as New York State as possible, but also while still honoring some of the traditional methods that I learned. So yeah, this is all malt. I use just a small amount of malt to convert, you know, with the rye whiskey. So you can kind of taste its biscuity quality. One of the motivations to even begin learning distilling was a love of single malt Scotch whiskey. When you're working with a delicate grain like barley, it's way more sensitive, very delicate. If it goes into a new barrel, you'll just bury all of that beauty. So at least half of the fun for me is finding and sourcing and nosing a whole bunch of different barrels. You know, much like a painter thinks about what's the next color that I'm placing on that canvas, barrels are the same. It's a way to kind of guide that spirit in a very delicate way without losing all of those wonderful, you know, barley grain cereal notes. Yes, it's the hard way, but you know, it's great to have a hand in almost every aspect of production. That's how Hollerhorn was born.